Hello guys, this might be the last video we might make about the SWZ games. So basically, you do not know, there's a bunch of games SWZ's made such a big deal about. And guess what? Most of those games are basically dead. With, of course, one exception. That's Marvel Rivals, I think, still has a lot of players. But outside of that, a lot of the games that SWZ have promoted over the past year have fallen so hard as well. It really shows that most people really don't care about curvy, beautiful, sexy women in gaming. The vast majority of gamers don't care. And I keep saying this, and people get angry at me like I'm acting like I'm committing some sacrilege when it's just the truth. So these are the top 25 games. Okay, so one. Okay, TF2 does not appeal towards them. Two of the games, it's one of them is a kind of game, but the only game that SWGs have praised so far that has not died is Marvel Rivals, or have not left the top 30 to 50 games. If we go here, why is Helldiver's 2 here again? Battlefield 2042 is on here. That had a massive increase in players. Then we have Terraria, Overwatch 2, which SWGs do like Overwatch 2, but only two of the top 50 games appeal towards SWGs as well. Okay, yeah, but SWG games are flopping very very quickly. Oh yeah, let's remember SWGs were praising Street Fighter 6. Oh, Street Fighter 6 added some, very revealing Sun Wii costume, and it would bring, so many players up. No, it declined back to where it was. You know, it went back down to, the average player base as well. Okay, and these people really believe that they're winning in the gaming industry or something as well. This is the bump SWGs are talking about. Okay, this is the bump these people talked about. Okay, this small little bump here is what the this is just dumb. This little bump is it's the average player, but the game actually averagely goes up every once you know a certain part of data 40,000 players, which means this huge bump with Street Fighter 6 because remember this. SWZs was talking about how there was this huge, massive player spike. Nope, it's a small bump. What's it compared to the January 25th bump? You can see it's a big player spike compared to what it was, but if you look at now, this bump on average players, you know, it did increase, but it's going back down to 14,000 players. So SWZs really thought they had this huge victory here, but it really was not a huge victory. And also, there was probably other content in the entire thing. Well, people went to go play as well. Okay, then we're gonna continue to go further down the list. Well, what was the games? What was Stellar Blade? Honestly, I thought Stellar Blade would be alive way longer. We have the First Ascendant, which for some reason that game had an increase in players. Maybe they're finally adding new content to the game, so people are actually playing the game now. Maybe adding new characters, new weapons. Not a character's butt ziggling because when they suit. Stuff that no one buys a game for. Okay. Here, then we can go here, go further down. Battlefield 1 is still here. But Stellar Blade is still nowhere to be seen as well. Okay, Stellar Blade is still nowhere to be seen. Battlefield 5 is here. Oh yeah, remember the game that everyone criticized? The one they complained about with the woman on the. Oh my god, there was a woman on the cover. And we were gonna boycott the game. I on buy Battlefield 5, but I started losing interest in those types of games at that time. So yeah. But Battlefield 5 still has more players than Stellar Blade, than Mecha Break, which were the prize possession of SWGs for the past year. Okay, that's an SCP game. Yeah, a game about the SCP Foundation is getting more people playing than Stellar Blade. Wu King Fallen Fighters is the first one. Yes, the Sonic 06 of SWGs. Okay, just remember, this was a game that was saying, oh, people, this is gonna sell 4 bajillion copies because the lady had a giant pair of boobs. Yes, this is the game they said, and this is why it's ironic that they always keep quiet once the games fail. Okay, because 99% of the time, they lose 95% of the player base because a game like Wu King launched in a state similar to games like Sonic 06. Okay? As well. And the game steadily started losing its player base as well. Okay? This was a game that launched in a similar state to games like Sonic 06. And then they're wondering, like, oh, but she had a giant pair of boobs. How dare you criticize this game? This game's gonna have below like 1,000 players by the end of the year. It's gonna have below 1,000 players. Stellar Blade's also heading towards that number. We haven't even covered Stellar Blade. Then we have Mecha Break. Oh yeah, it's a game they will talk about how great it was because when the lady comes out of the mech, her boobs sake. Oh yes, this game. It has literally lost almost all of its player base, and it's still declining. Okay, this was basically the next big game until Wu King came out. Okay, Wu King, whatever it's called, came out, and this is the massive drop off Mecha Break has had. Okay, here it went from 84,000 players to just near under 5,000 now. Okay, just under 5,000. Okay, this is supposed to be this massive, huge game that was supposed to, light the world on fire. A month later, it was like 90% of its player base. Totally normal game. Okay, and then of course we can keep going further down and down. Where's Stellar Blade? Oh, there it is. There's Stellar Blade. Okay. Stellar Blade, okay, had a 68% decline on a second month. Okay. That's awful numbers for a game, obviously. Okay. Then another 50% drop, which is also very bad numbers as well. It will probably have yet another 50% drop by the end of August, the end of this month. Okay. As well, the average players is now going down to 4,680. And the last time we talked about, it was around this much, 7,665 as well. Okay. Do you know what else declined 68%? Okay. You know what else declined 68%? On its second, time? A lot of the biggest Marvel flops. And this is supposed to be a hugely successful game that's supposed to sell like 20 million copies. And this is the massive decline Stellar Blade has seen. Okay, a massive decline in players. Okay, and they even said, oh, but March Report was going to save this game. Okay, but no, it did not. It further proves that most people don't care about sex appeal in games. Okay, the vast majority of people don't care. Okay, the vast majority of people don't care. Okay. This is a massive decline in players. But here's the funniest one. Goes Frontline 2. Yes, you ain't hearing me wrong. Okay, an anime gacha game no one is playing on Steam. Okay, maybe you're going to say, oh, it's because I'm not promoting the game properly. But this is one of the biggest anime gacha franchises. And no one is playing. 471 people are playing Ghost Frontline on Steam. Okay, and a lot of gacha games, they just don't really do too well. And I just don't understand why SWZs think they're winning. Okay, when most of the games are dropping massively in terms of sales, in terms of, as well. Okay, let's compare Stellar Blade to other games. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice came out a couple years ago, and that game is pulling a healthy average player count compared to Stellar Blade, where it's massively declining every week. I know this game has massively declined as well, but they added DLC to the game, which it's kind of give the game more, or Tekken 8. Oh yeah, that's a game where they'll complain about how the ladies' boobs were so tiny in the game, but still was outselling and outbeating Stellar Blade, as well. You know, and it's just so funny that these people really believe. Okay, I just want to know what the next game they could promote. Okay, what's the next game they could promote? Okay, before I go down, there's a bunch of games that nobody cares about. Random Japanese game. Um, you know, a bunch of like very old games as well. Okay, you know, but yeah, Stellar Blade and Mecha Blade officially drop below 5,000 players. Will the free fall continue, or will SWZs be able to actually save the Precious games? Only time will tell. Only time will tell.